God gave you a secret power that nobody has told you how to use. Have you ever thought about what sets us apart as the pinnacle of God's creation? You might guess it's our ability to utilize our five senses, to hear, see, smell, taste, touch. But guess what? Animals have these senses too. A dog can hear and smell, a horse can see and feel. So what makes us the most powerful form of creation? What forgotten tools do we have access to that could allow us to live in the image of God in which we're created? The secret power is that we've been gifted with higher mental faculties that allow us to create our own environment. Think about it. All the other animals fit right into their environment. They adapt and react to it. Human beings are the only creatures with advanced enough brains and minds that give us the power to create our own environment. You have inner technologies that allow you to create your own world. You have 6 mental faculties: reason, perception, memory, intuition, will, and imagination. But which one of these tools is the key to unlock your godlike powers to shape your own reality? It's imagination. But most people have had their perceptions programmed, so they don't take their imagination very seriously. And if they even use their imagination at all, they're using it to imagine everything they don't want. They imagine their worst problems, their worst fears. Their head is full of pictures of everything they're stressed and worried about. Our brains have an amazing capacity to transform our external world to match the pictures in our imagination. Yet we've lost touch with this. As a kid, I remember getting in trouble for daydreaming. They'd say, the teachers, pay attention, stop wandering off in your imagination. And so slowly, we let the most potent tool slip away from us. The mention of imagination kind of even raises eyebrows as adults because we don't think it's practical. But allow me to just share a story that will probably change your mind. Back in 2017, my tax return showed $8,525. Right? And it hit me with the realization, you can't really live like that, right? Forget about vacations, special dates, owning your home. And I knew something had to change. So I took out a pen and piece of paper, and instead of jotting down all my daily tasks, I projected myself 10 years into the future, and I dated it like a journal entry of the future. And I wrote about how I was a renowned millionaire author and speaker, and I was writing how I was earning millions of dollars, right? And it happened. I actually went from $8,525 exactly to making over $1 million in a couple years. And you might think, he's just lucky, right? Or you might think, well, he must just be incredibly handsome. And that's not really true either. I actually failed junior English class in high school. I dropped out of college. And this just shows how powerful your imagination is if you know how to use it. But when God gave you your imagination, how to make it work to shape your reality is based off of 3 universal laws. And once you understand these on a step-by-step basis of how to apply your imagination, you can use it for money, love, health, your dream house, your dream car, anything that you want. And I'm going to show you how to take the pictures you imagine in your mind and hold them in your hand. All right, so let's start with number 1. Every future reality you can imagine is already a real frequency. So I invite you to imagine a destination like really vivid in your mind. Make the picture in your mind like your dream vacation spot, like a beach where you have the clearest water and whitest sand that you've ever seen, somewhere you really want to go. Just because it's not a physical place right in front of you doesn't mean it's not real. And if you can visit that place in your imagination, that frequency is real. Through the God-given power of imagination, I invite you to consider there in your mind is a real place. $8,525 was real. But me being a millionaire was also real out there in my imagination, but out there is a real place. When you write down the future in your imagination, you can plant your thoughts there. You can anchor your frequency there, because if you can see it in your mind, you can inhabit it physically. It doesn't matter what the image in your imagination is. If your mind can go there, you can physically go there as well. But how do you get from here to there? And that's the second divine law, frequency. To really understand how to use your imagination correctly, you have to understand that frequency, which is just the measure of vibrational energy. Frequency is just a level of vibration. Everything in our universe vibrates. Even though it appears stationary like a solid, motionless, physical matter object, but everything, including your hands, your feet, it's moving. It appears still, but it isn't. It's moving so fast, it appears to be still. The real paradigm shift is understanding that all frequencies are connected. It only appears that there are clear physical boundaries because your eyes can only see a little portion of energy that we call visible light. But do you know what that means? If everything is connected, you aren't separate from anything that you want, even your future desires. That's how I went from $8,000 a year to $1 million in a couple years. But you can also go, woo, onto a lower frequency just as quickly. The key is understanding that we think on different frequencies. Every one of your thoughts has a specific vibrational frequency. Even the thoughts in your imagination have a specific vibration that affects your brain cells. There's an energy that's flowing through your consciousness, which can be measured on EEG machines tracking the electrical activity of your brain. And by aligning your thoughts with the frequency of your desires, you can shift your reality to match your dreams. But this is where we get stuck and why the law of attraction doesn't work the way that it's taught to so many people. And that leads us to rule number 3, create or disintegrate. Now, before we dive into that, if this makes sense, but it's hard to shift your frequency, the key is to reprogram your subconscious mind. And if you click right here, or you go to the link in the description, it's pinned to the comments. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your behaviors, so you can unconsciously shift your vibrational frequency to align with your dreams. So you basically turn your subconscious into a magnet to attract what you want. You can get it for free if you click right here or go to Jake's Hypnosis. It's pinned in the description as well. Now, the universe is always changing. It's always in motion, right? There's only 2 ways the universe operates. It's creating or it's disintegrating. And the average person uses their imagination against themselves. They aren't using their imagination to expand and create. They're using their imagination for disintegration and self-destruction. They imagine what they don't want. They imagine problems coming. They don't even realize that they're directing this God-given power for what they don't want. They're visualizing what they don't want. Then they get what they don't want, and they don't understand that their imagination is creating what they don't want. Earl Schoaf once said, "Most people tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death." But it doesn't have to be this way. Just take a look around your house or wherever you are right now. Look at your phone, your computer, your air conditioner, your car, your watch, your electricity. Everything that you see and experience as a material fact in this world was once imagined. In Wayne Dyer's book, Wishes Fulfilled, he explains that the Creator has planted within each person a fragment of itself, a spirit of the same nature. Every human being can become a creator. And this means that instead of always waiting for your needs to be satisfied by an external source, you can work inwardly by means of your imagination. He said, by passionately believing in something that does not yet exist, we create it. Therefore, the non-existent is that which has not been sufficiently desired or imagined. And I love when Wayne said, you must attach yourself spiritually to what you've placed in your imagination as a future fact and never allow anyone, anything, or any circumstance, no matter how persuasive their case, to alter what you know to be your destiny. So I invite you to use your imagination the way God intended you to use it, to think from the frequency, because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what you're imagining. There was actually a neuroplasticity study at Harvard Medical School, and I've talked about this before. They took different groups of people playing the piano. The group that actually played the piano sequence and the group that just imagined it were activating the same regions of their brain. So your brain doesn't even know the difference. God thought this whole thing through, how to use your imagination. Your brain thinks it's real. It's coded into your DNA. William Blank said, everything that now exists was once imagined. So if everything that now exists was once imagined, what you want to exist in the future must be imagined now. So I invite you to block out what's going on now. Ignore the evidence of your five senses and your material circumstances. Become delusional. Become unrealistic. Become nonsensical. All that means is you're no longer defining the flow of your thoughts based off of what you see with your five senses. Now, the key that changed my life, where I went from making $8,525 exactly on my tax return to over $1 million in a couple years, I just quit believing in what I saw with my senses. I created a success hypnosis for myself. You can get it for free. Just click right here, or it's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description. And what I did is every day I would deliberately withdraw my consciousness from the material world. I would deliberately withdraw my consciousness from my five senses. And I would listen to the success hypnosis, and I would start replaying all these details that I wrote in that journal entry that I dated in the future. And I would play out this journal entry in the future that I dated 5-10 years later about how I had everything that I wanted. And the key with your imagination is that it's not just a picture that you're seeing. You're really there. And when you're really there, you create the emotions and the feeling. And that's what sparks the electromagnetic cells in your brain. So your brain thinks it's real, the cells of your body thinks it's real, your nervous system thinks it's real, and then that's how you pull it into reality, and you make the invisible visible, the unreal real, the unrealistic into real reality. So you can get my free success hypnosis if you click here, jakeshypnosis.com. It's time to use your imagination as God intended you to use it, because you're made in the image of God, and the tool that you have to create that God gave you is your own imagination. So I want to thank you for watching today's video, and I want to invite you to hit the subscribe button, subscribe, bell notification, all that fun stuff. If you enjoy this video, you can send it out in the YouTube universe to help more people by giving us a comment down below, so YouTube knows, hey, we should send this out because more people need to know about their imagination. You can click right here to watch another video. Make sure you get my free success hypnosis.